Alright, picture this. It's 1779 and the Continental Congress is dealing with a crisis that's way more stressful than a Twitter flame war. We're talking the near total meltdown of American currency. You see, they've been printing Continental dollars like it was monopoly money to fund the Revolutionary War. And surprise, too many bills, not enough gold to back them up. Inflation shot through the roof. People joked that the Continental dollar was worth as much as yesterday's lunch leftovers. And no one, not even the sharpest minds of the day, had a clue what to do about it. So imagine Congress huddled up in Philadelphia, where the discussions were getting about as heated as an overboiled kettle. They'd been pumping out paper currency for years, like a kid with unlimited Crayola access. But by 1779, those dollars were almost worthless. Why? Because the British, in a brilliant bit of economic warfare, started counterfeiting Continentals and flooding the market with fake bills. If you thought spam email was bad, imagine waking up one day and realizing every other dollar in your pocket was basically monopoly money. People were getting frustrated. Farmers didn't want to sell food to soldiers for dollars that couldn't even buy a loaf of bread, and merchants looked at the stacks of Continentals and said, "Yeah, no thanks, I'd rather have British pounds." Congress had to act fast, or risk the whole economy imploding. Enter the 1779 debates on currency stabilization. You had founding fathers bouncing ideas around like a game of intellectual dodgeball. Some delegates thought, hey, maybe we can just fix this with price controls. Yeah, like telling a cow to produce milk faster by yelling at it. Others thought they should slap a cap on wages, like somehow that was going to make people want to keep fighting the British. Then there were the big brains like Robert Morris, the financial guru of Congress, who argued that maybe, just maybe, they should back up the currency with hard assets like land. But then you had the purists standing up and shouting, "Land! We're trying to break free from British land control, not set up another feudal system." Things were so tense they almost couldn't agree on what time lunch was, let alone how to fix the dollar. Morris and his squad wanted to establish a national bank, which at the time was the equivalent of suggesting they launch a space shuttle. People thought it was outrageous. Imagine a bank for all the colonies. Radical. But what if they had no choice? So what did they do? They settled on a half-baked solution, a mix of issuing loan certificates and hoping the states would chip in. Spoiler alert, the states were like, yeah, sure, good luck with that, and tossed in about as much support as a three-legged stool. As for the currency, they tried to revalue the Continental dollars, basically hoping people would pretend they were still worth something. Congress urged Americans to trust the currency, which went about as well as telling people today to trust online influencers' financial advice. And in the end, they printed more bonds and begged France for a loan. France, bless its heart, was like, all right, one last time for real. The legacy of 1779's currency stabilization debate was, well, a bit like sticking a band-aid on a cracked dam. The Continental dollar continued to spiral until it was eventually phased out, leading Congress to look toward metal-based currency later on. But the 1779 Congress left us with an important lesson. When the going gets tough, the tough hold frantic debates and hope for the best. The Continental dollar may have crashed, but their willingness to experiment, and their desperation, laid the groundwork for the more stable American dollar that would come after independence. In the end, those 1779 debates showed the young nation that they had some serious growing pains to work through if they were ever going to become a financial powerhouse. And that's the chaotic cash-strapped tale of 1779, a year when America tried to prove it was more than just a bunch of scrappy colonies, and instead proved it could tackle a financial crisis with pure stubbornness, a little luck, and a whole lot of help from France.